Matt's Vacation. Matt sat on the swing in his backyard. It was summer, and, as with every summer, he was alone. All of his friends had gone on vacation.
His friends always went to exciting places, but not Matt. His parents were always too busy working to go anywhere. Matt wished he could go somewhere, anywhere, so he would have something to tell his friends when school started.
Suddenly, right in front of him, there was a bright flash of light. Then there was a huge crash. It was so loud, Matt fell off the swing and onto the ground.
When he sat up to see what had happened, he saw something amazing. There in his backyard was a spaceship. A tiny door opened and out jumped a little alien. Though his body was small, he had a very large head. His skin was gray and his eyes were big and shiny, but his mouth and nose were tiny.
The alien asked Matt to help him fix his spaceship. Matt had never fixed a spaceship before, but all the alien needed was some salt from Matt's kitchen. The alien said his spaceship needed salt to fly.
After the alien put the salt into the spaceship, he asked if Matt wanted to come visit his planet.
The two climbed into the spaceship, and it took off into space. The alien showed Matt how to fly the spaceship. Then they landed on the alien's planet. The planet was a lot like Earth, except its water was green, and all its trees had blue leaves.
The alien asked if Matt wanted to stay for dinner. They ate pickled zorgs and fried zolos. They were delicious.
After dinner, the alien introduced Matt to his friends and family. Then it was time to go back to Earth.
Matt couldn't wait to tell his friends about his trip. It had been the best summer vacation ever.
Desert fish.
It was a hot summer day in the desert. The sun shone brightly down on the sinkhole where Ben the pupfish lived. The water was warm and comfortable, just the way Ben liked it. He swam lazily around his little pool, snacking on pieces of algae. Suddenly, something big splashed into the water.
Hello there,
said a loud voice.
My name is Gus. I hope you don't mind my sharing your little pool. I haven't seen water in a while, and I'm so hot and thirsty.
The voice belonged to a bird. I don't mind at all, answered Ben.
I was just flying over when I saw your sinkhole. I thought I'd stop and get a drink of water. I was surprised to see water in the desert, and even more surprised to see a fish,
said Gus. Why were you so surprised? Asked Ben.
Well, fish live in the ocean. I've never heard of a fish living in the desert,
Gus explained. This has always been my home. I didn't know that fish lived anywhere else, said Ben. I wish I could see an ocean.
Since you shared your water with me, I can help make your wish come true.
Gus flew away and then returned after a few minutes, carrying a small cup in his beak.
I will scoop you into this cup and take you to see the ocean. Hop in,
said Gus as he put the cup in the water. Gus flew high up into the sky. They flew for a long time. Finally, Ben felt Gus flying lower and lower. Then the cup tipped over. Splash! Ben hit the water. It was cooler. He swam down into deep water and saw an amazing sight. Huge schools of fish swam together. There were big fish, small fish, and fish of every color of the rainbow. There were forests of seaweed and strange creatures crawling along the ocean floor. It was beautiful. Ben swam back to where Gus was. "Gus, this is amazing!" exclaimed Ben. "I think I'm going to stay."
Won't you miss your desert home?
asked Gus, smiling. "Yes, I will, but I hadn't realized that the world was such a big place. I have an entire ocean to explore," Ben said excitedly, and Gus watched as Ben swam off into the deep blue ocean.
Max the pilot.
When Max was young, he lived near an airport. The noise of the airplanes bothered most people, but he loved looking out of the window watching them. At night, he would lie in bed and listen to the planes landing. He always counted 5 before he would fall asleep. When he was 7, he told his mother and father that he wanted to be a pilot when he grew up. They laughed and said, "Of course you do." Max loved flying so much, he told his teacher that birds were his favorite animals because they could fly. He once tried to get his bicycle to fly by putting wings on the sides and riding it quickly over a jump. Max failed, of course, and broke his arm. But that didn't stop him from trying again later. For his birthday, Max's father took him to an air show. There were planes in the air and on the ground. Standing by a large plane was a pilot. Max walked over to get a closer look at the plane. The pilot looked at Max and smiled. He knew that look in the boy's eyes.
"You want to be a pilot, eh?" the man asked. "You bet!"
Max exclaimed. The pilot told him to study science and math because those subjects are useful for pilots. He did. That was 30 years ago. Today, Max designs airplanes for Boeing. Sometimes on weekends, he and his son would go up in Max's small airplane, which Max owns. Max knows his son loves flying too. It's in his eyes.
The Two Little Pigs.
A long time ago, in a place far away, there was a small house on a hill. In the house lived a pig and her 2 little boys, James and Phil. The two were very different. James played baseball, basketball, and badminton, but Phil played video games. James ate corn and beans and peas, but Phil ate chocolate and chips with cheese. When the clock struck 10, James would be asleep, but at 2 a.m., Phil would still be watching TV. Living this way wasn't good for Phil, as everyone could see. His pink little face was getting round from cookies and watching TV. His brother James stayed happy and fit by playing sports and eating fruit. He often told Phil,
"Your kind of life isn't healthy, you know."
Then one day, a wolf came to the woods near their house on the hill. The wolf was big and hungry and mean. And when he looked at the little house, he saw a wonderful thing. Both little pigs were out in the yard. James was running around, but Phil was moving very slowly, often sitting down. The wolf ran to Phil. Phil was afraid, but could not run very fast. Fortunately, his brother was thinking fast. He grabbed Phil's video game and hit the wolf on the head.
Phew, that was close,
James said as the wolf ran away.
See?
Phil said,
And you said video games were bad. In this case, it saved my life.
Phil looked angrily at James.
Okay.
Phil said,
I'm kidding. From now on, I will exercise more and eat plenty of vegetables and fruit.
And he did.
Debbie the Dolphin. This is the story of a dolphin named Debbie. Debbie lived in a pod, a group of dolphins that swim together. Like all dolphins, she spent her days swimming, splashing, and chasing fish. But Debbie was not like other dolphins. Debbie was selfish. Most dolphins are very helpful. They help fishermen find fish, they help lost boats find land, and they help tired swimmers swim back to shore. Some will even scare away sharks, but not Debbie. It's not that Debbie was a mean dolphin. She never hurt anyone or caused fights with other dolphins. She just wasn't helpful. Debbie thought that helping others was a waste of time.
Why should I help others if they cannot help me?
She asked. One day the pod was scaring sharks away from a beach. Debbie was not with them because she did not want to help. Suddenly, Debbie felt something pull on her tail. It was an old net. Debbie had never been caught in a net before. She flapped her tail and pulled, but she couldn't get out. It seemed the more she pulled, the tighter the net became. Debbie squeaked for help, but the other dolphins were busy with the sharks and did not hear her. Debbie started to get scared. Then she noticed two divers nearby.
Help!
She begged. Debbie saw one of the divers point at her. The divers used their knives to cut the net and free Debbie. That day, Debbie learned an important lesson. She was never selfish again. Lost in the Woods.
Daniel and his dog Bud were best friends. After school and on the weekends, they would play in the backyard. They lived in a house near the woods, but they weren't allowed to play in the woods. Daniel's parents didn't want him to get lost. One day, Daniel's mother asked him to collect garbage along the edge of the woods, since many hikers leave their trash there. But remember, she said, don't go into the woods. Daniel filled his pockets with large orange garbage bags and whistled for Bud to follow him. Soon the two were busy working. Suddenly, Bud started barking. There in front of them was a rabbit. The rabbit stared at Bud, and then it ran straight into the woods. Bud chased the rabbit and Daniel chased Bud. When Daniel finally caught Bud, they were deep in the woods, and Daniel didn't know which way to go. They were lost.
We have to stay here together, Bud,
he said.
You can't get separated or wander around when you are lost.
It was getting windy, so the two sat down together to keep warm. Then Bud began pulling out the garbage bags in Daniel's pockets.
Good idea, Bud. We should make it easier for people to find us.
Daniel tore the garbage bags into strips and tied the orange pieces of plastics onto the trees around them.
If we have to stay here tonight, we don't want to sleep on the cold ground.
Daniel made a tent with one of the bags. Then he collected dried up leaves to make a bed. As they were piling the leaves under the tent, Daniel heard a noise. His heart jumped. Bear, he thought. It was Daniel's father. Bud barked. Daniel shouted. Daniel's dad had seen the orange strips of garbage bags Daniel had tied onto the trees.
Are you lost?
He said.
Not anymore,
said Daniel.
Terry's decision.
It was summer vacation, and Terry wasn't doing anything. Even though he was bored, he couldn't decide what he wanted to do. As he stood in the kitchen trying to decide, he heard a knock at the door. It was his friend Patty.
Hey,
said Patty.
let's go do something.
Okay, said Terry.
What do you want to do?
Asked Patty. Terry couldn't decide. As soon as he made a choice, he would start wondering if he should have chosen something else.
You would be much better at making decisions if you didn't think about them so much,
said Patty.
Let's go swimming in the river.
I can't swim in the river,
said Terry.
Of course you can,
said Patty.
We go swimming in the pool all the time.
It was true. Terry was a great swimmer in the pool. He just didn't think he could swim in the river. Still, he couldn't think of anything else to do. So the two boys headed off towards the river.
Let's run,
shouted Patty.
I can't,
said Terry.
I'm not very good at running.
You're a great runner,
said Patty.
You just need more confidence.
When the boys finally reached the river, Terry couldn't decide if he should swim or not. The river wasn't like the pool. He could barely see the bottom. While Terry stood beside the river thinking, Patty jumped into the water. Suddenly, Terry heard Patty shout.
What's wrong, Patty?
Yelled Terry.
I cut my leg on some glass in the water,
shouted Patty.
Oh, I don't think I can swim.
Patty could barely keep his head above water. Quickly and carefully, Terry climbed into the water and swam to his friend. He grabbed Patty and pulled him to the shore. Patty sat on the shore holding his leg.
I don't think I can walk,
said Patty.
What can we do?
I'll run for help,
said Terry. Terry ran off to get help. Soon he was back at the river, helping to carry his friend home. When Patty was finally safe at home, he turned to Terry and smiled.
See?
He said.
I told you that you could run and swim, and I knew you'd know what to do.